Welcome to the official Monday Night RAW review and results video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on those bells for all notifications. As I put myself back to frame here, I haven't uploaded a video since March. I know. Hello. I'm back. My thoughts on Monday Night RAW tonight. Was it epic? No. I know Triple H said on the Survivor Series post-show on Saturday, after how bad Survivor Series was, that tonight's Monday Night Raw was going to be an epic night. Now, was it epic by any means of the word? No. No, it hasn't. But, was it a decent show tonight? Sure. It had its bright spots here and there. Sure. Don't get me wrong. I thought tonight's Raw was pretty decent. Pretty decent. Not the best Raw of the year, but it was pretty good. But I must say this, though. This has to be the worst year Triple H has ever had when it comes to being head of creative, when it comes to creative in WWE. Worst year ever. You go all the way back to January to now. A lot of bad, some good, but mostly a lot of bad. Now, a lot of people will have their conspiracy theories here and there, and I can see both sides of it, sure. But I'm going to need Triple H in 2026 to really redeem himself for what happened this year. And we'll talk about what happened, what he could do in 2026 as we talk about this Monday Night Raw tonight from Glendale, Arizona. And also, later on in the show, I will give you guys a little mini review of Survivor Series. You know, just a little, 5-10 minute review here and there. So, give you guys my thoughts also on Survivor Series. But what I thought of Monday Night Raw tonight was a pretty decent show. I got a lot more questions than answers coming out of the show. I thought Triple H and World Wrestling Entertainment would have a banger episode of Raw after what happened last Saturday at Survivor Series, after how bad that show was. But we'll go over everything. What happened tonight, give you guys my thoughts on what's going on. And moving forward, I'll give you guys what's going on the channel as well. So stick around for that. If you guys don't know who I am Chris. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel. If you guys agree with me on what happened on Monday Night Raw tonight, if you thought it was a decent show, hit that like button. Leave a comment down below your thoughts of the show tonight. And also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below and turn those bells, guys, for all notifications. Guys, make sure you guys are following me on social media. This is the official home of the Near Fall podcast as well, right here on YouTube. I will be doing reviews on Raw on Monday. Give you guys episodes of the Near Fall podcast on Tuesdays. I'm still thinking about what days to do those. And then Fridays, I will give you guys SmackDown review on Friday as well. If you guys do not follow me on social media, please do so. And on X, I will say Twitter, but I'm going to call it Twitter. Twitter at Chris on Twitter. And on TikTok, follow me on TikTok. I'll be posting, a lot of, shorts, mini clips from Raw reviews and SmackDown reviews and podcast shows as well. Follow me on TikTok at Good Vibes Chris with 2 S's and 1 underscore. And if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Turn those bells, guys, for all notifications. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw tonight from Glendale, Arizona, with the fallout of Survivor Series War Games. Monday Night Raw tonight. Raw tonight. Again, from Glendale, Arizona. The video opens up, well, the show opens up with commentary welcoming us, and we get a video package recapping this past Saturday's Survivor Series War Games, where we see highlights from both War Games matches, as well as Dominic Mysterio regaining the IC title, thanks to a returning Liv Morgan, which we'll talk about later in the show. We also see a mystery person climbing into the double cage to take out CM Punk, leading the victory for the Visionist team. We then see Dominic Mysterio arriving to the parking lot in a lowrider with Liv Morgan riding alongside. Then they greet the rest of Judgment Day as we head to the arena, where we see a shot of the crowd lingering as the show begins with Io Sky. First person we see tonight is Io Sky. Her music hits. She makes her way down to the ring with Rhea Ripley. Rhea starts off by welcoming everyone to Monday Night Raw, or should we say Monday Night Rhea. Rhea then says her face is a little sore. Rhea then says her bodies are a little banged up. Rhea then says at the end of the day, they won the war. Rhea then says it might have been taking a little time to get on the same page, but they managed to come out victorious. Rhea then says the fight isn't over. Rhea then says Asuka and Kairi Sane decide to betray her best friend. Rhea then says she does not care how sore she is and how broken her nose is. They want revenge. Revenge! Rhea also says that it starts with winning the tag team titles. Io then tells Asuka no one is ready for them. Rhea then says she wants them to come to the ring to finish it all. And from there we get Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss coming in to the ring. Now, Charlotte and Alexa come into the ring. Alexa says hello to Rhea and Io. Alexa then says they heard them talk about the tag team titles. How Rhea and Io want the women's tag team championships. Alexa then says they work together at War Games, but they need them to step aside for the tag titles. Meaning that Charlotte and Alexa lost the women's tag team titles to Asuka and Kairi Sane, I believe in Boston a couple weeks ago. Charlotte then says how they're standing up for their friends, but they are the former champions and they haven't gotten the rematch. So now we're just going back to the rematch clause now. Okay, got it. Alexa then says they are fine with Rhea and Io going after Asuka and Kairi, but after they're done with the titles. Rhea then says she didn't expect this 48 hours after War Games. She then says they couldn't beat Asuka and Kairi, so they can go to the back of the line. Charlotte says they can prove it if they think they're better. Alexa suggests that they face each other. Io says they are on. So after that, we got word from Adam Pearce, the Raw General Manager, that the match was made official for tonight's main event of the show. So we got the match confirmed for later on tonight. Io and Rhea versus Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. I was going to say Asuka. Rhea and Io against Charlotte and Alexa for tonight's main event of Monday Night Raw. Not bad of a segment. Listen, it is what it is. It is what it is, but I don't book the show, so therefore it is what it is. But decent segment here to kick off Raw. I thought it wasn't that bad, which we got set up for the main event later on tonight. We head to the back when Adam Pearce is on the phone with Nick Aldis, and he says the tag team match is made official. Ivy Nile, yes, Ivy Nile, then tells Adam Pearce that she deserves a title match. In what God's name does Ivy Nile deserve a Women's Intercontinental Championship match? Chat, you tell me, I don't know. Pearce then says she does deserve a match, and she will get the first crack at her title, but she is training with Natty, which we'll talk about later on in the show. Ivy then says that Maxine can train with anyone because it won't work. Ivy now leaves, and Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker then show up behind Adam Pearce. And Pearce says that unless they're going to talk about the guy under the mask that caused the Bayface team the match at War Games, we have nothing to talk about. He then says that Braun pinned the champion, so they have something to talk about. Which again, we will talk about later on in the show. Which we will discuss about Bron Breakker later on in the show. I think they're going to put the rocket strap on Bron Breakker on this specific night that we will talk about in a little bit. We'll get to that portion of the show. We then get a video package of CM Punk talking about his rivalry with John Cena over the years. Now, in my honest opinion, I don't know how you guys feel about CM Punk and John Cena, but in my honest opinion, one of John Cena's greatest feuds of all time. Now, if I was to give you guys a top 5 list, a top 5, JBL number 5, I'm going to go 5 to 1. JBL number 5. Orton at number 4. Punk number 3. They're obviously top 3. Top 3 feuds of all time. Cena and Rock 2. Again, I have no clue. But this is just random. And then Cena and Edge number 1. Cena and Edge will be number 1. That's my all-time favorite feud, which is Edge and Cena. One of my all-time favorite feuds. Another one is Orton and Cena. Their matches that they had in 2007 and 2009, classic matches. Just classic matches there. Jey Uso, yeet, makes his way down to the ring for the first match of the night, and LA Knight follows as we get the semi-final matchup of the Last Time Is Now tournament between Jey Uso and LA Knight. Now, a lot of people were speculating, including me. We all speculated that Jey Uso was going to beat LA Knight on this specific night to get to the final, which would be on Friday on SmackDown. I was praying that LA Knight would win this match because he wasn't part of War Games, which he should have been, in my honest opinion. But I get why he wasn't part of War Games, despite him feuding with the Vision for the longest time. But I get why they didn't put him in War Games, and I get why they put LA Knight in this tournament. I'm watching the match, and I'm just praying, and I'm thinking to myself, I hope Jey Uso does not win. If there's one thing, and I said on social media, if there's one thing I did not want to see was a Jey Uso GUNTHER final. We saw that back at WrestleMania. And we saw how bad that match was. Despite Jey Uso winning the World Championship at WrestleMania. Sure. My prayers were answered on this show, on this night. And we will go over the winner here. We will go over the winner of this match. The match starts off with Knight hitting a kick and Jey escapes a BFT. Both men then lock up and Knight backs Jey into the corner. Knight then misses a punch, but Jey does not miss. Knight then hits an Irish whip and Jey floats over and misses a punch. Knight then gets some kicks. Knight then misses a hip in the corner. Jey then hits some kicks and an enziguri. Jey then sets up for a running hip attack into the corner. Then he misses. LA Knight then hits some jabs and he misses a discus clothesline. Jey then hits some jabs and he misses a split punch. Jey then drops down and Knight goes over the top rope then to the floor. Jey then hits a suicide dive. Jey then sends LA Knight to the ring and he punches Knight into the turnbuckles. Jey then takes too long on the final punch and Knight gets free. I almost called my iPad there. Knight gets free and drops Jey onto the turnbuckles. Knight then hits some punches from the turnbuckles and Jey hits a reverse atomic drop. Nice move there by Jey Uso there. Jey is then sent to the corner. LA Knight then hits a drop kick to the rope. Knight then sends Jey into the announce desk several times a night. Then returns to the ring and to break the 10 count. Then returns to the floor to send Jey back into the ring. LA Knight then gets a near fall. Knight then hits a knee to the back and a kick. Knight then hits a punch and a shoulder to the corner. Knight then places Jey on the turnbuckles. Knight then climbs the top of the turnbuckles. Knight goes for a superplex, but Jey blocks it, and he punches LA Knight. Knight then punches back, and they both fall off the turnbuckles into the floor. Jey then kicks LA Knight into the back. He kicks Knight back into the ring, and Jey goes up top, but lands on his feet because Knight moves. Knight then hits a burning hammer for a near fall. Close near fall there. Knight then kicks Jey. Jey gets his feet, hits a spear for the near fall. Another near fall there. Jey then goes up top again, and Knight leaps to the turnbuckles, hits a superplex. Knight then gets to a near fall, another near fall there. Knight then sets up for a BFT. Jey gets a roll up for a near fall. Jey then hits a super kick and a spear. That's what at that point, when Jey went for the frog splash, I thought the match was over. Jey hits the frog splash, but takes too long and gets a 2 count. Gets another near fall. Knight then hits Jey with a crucifix, and the referee counts to 1, 2, 3. LA Knight wins. He beats Jey Uso. LA Knight will move on to the final and face the winner of Gunther and Solo Sikoa on Friday night on SmackDown to determine who faces John Cena in his final match on December 13th at Saturday Night's Main Event in Washington, D.C. Great match. Great match to start the show. LA Knight was the right winner here. In my honest opinion, LA Knight is the right winner. Nobody wants to see another Jey Uso Gunther final. Nobody wants to see that. We got that back at WrestleMania. That's good enough. Then we got another match between Jey Uso and Gunther on a random episode of Raw, I believe in May, June, for the World Championship, and Gunther won the World title from Jey Uso. That match was better than what they had at WrestleMania. The night when Gunther beat Jey Uso for the World Championship on that random episode of Raw. That match was better than the match they had back at WrestleMania. But this was good. Jey Uso and LA Knight was a great match to kick off the show. Again, the right winner won here. Folks, I will say this now, before we even get to the Gunther match later. LA Knight is losing to Gunther on SmackDown Friday night. The finals of the Last Time Is Now tournament will take place on Friday on SmackDown. So barely any build between the winner of the tournament and John Cena going into Saturday Night's Main Event on December 13th. Again, great match here. The right guy won here. Nobody wanted Jey Uso to win here. LA Knight goes on to the final. And LA Knight fans, I'm sorry to tell you this again, but LA Knight's not winning the tournament. He will not be winning on Friday on SmackDown against whoever his opponent will be, which I will tell you guys later on in the show. Again, great match here. LA Knight wins. After the match, we get a replay of the finish and an updated bracket as LA Knight celebrates on the ramp. Back in the ring, Jey Uso looks somewhat distraught over the loss as the crowd chants his name and gives him a nice pop. Jey then leaves the ring, struggling to deal with the loss before crashing out as he knocks over the Prime hydration station in anger. Jey then finally makes his way towards the ramp, still venting his frustrations. I like this furious side of Jey Uso. I like that. More of that, please. More of that, please. Thank you. We then head to the back where Adam Pearce is with Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Bayley asks Pearce to get into the tag title picture. Pearce then asks if Bayley is in the right headspace to deal with them. Lyra then says they are good. They didn't ask for a match. Pearce says things will be more clear after the main event and they're under consideration. Asuka and Kairi Sane then show up. Asuka tells Bayley if she joined the team, they would have won. In my honest opinion, now that I think about it, maybe if Bayley and Lyra would have showed up and took Last Legend and Nia Jax's place at Survivor Series, the match would have been a lot better. That's just me. That's just me. Then they call Bayley an idiot. Bayley then says they are the idiots. Asuka then says she's a champion. What are you, Bayley? Asuka then says you are nothing. She then says, who is in the main event tonight? She then says Charlotte Flair, not you. Kairi then gives her Shane to Bayley, and we hear Kairi being called in the distance. Which we will talk about that conclusion at the end of the show. Dominic Mysterio then makes his way down to the ring with Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez. Dominic starts off by saying he is the legend. Dominic then says John Cena is the best. Dominic then says the greatest of all time. It's a subjective conversation of who's the greatest of all time. If you would have asked me who's my GOAT, simple. My GOAT is The Undertaker. That's my GOAT. But is Cena considered one of the GOATs? Sure. Absolutely, yes. Dominic then says he just beat the greatest of all time, so that makes him the greatest Mysterio of all time. Dominic then says that makes him the greatest luchador of all time. Again, subjective. Dominic then says he is the king of the luchadores. Dominic then says he is the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. False. False on that one, champ. Dominic then says he couldn't have done it alone. Dominic says he couldn't do it without his boys, JD McDonough and Finn Balor. He also says he couldn't do it without Roxanne and Raquel. Again, listen, I'm gonna talk about Cena and Dom's match right now for Survivor Series. The match could have gone another 10 minutes. It could have gone another 10 minutes. But could the match have been better? Sure. You only had 4 matches on this PLE. Only 4 matches. You mean to tell me Dom and Cena could have gone at least another 10 minutes? At least another 10, 15 minutes? And again, I know Dom is a heel, don't get me wrong. He's a chicken shit heel, but he's killing it as a heel, don't get me wrong. Does Dom really need that much help to beat John Cena? When we all know Cena was going to lose the Intercontinental Championship back on Saturday night? No! Dom did not need all that help from Saturday night. From Saturday night. On Saturday night. He did not need all that help. He didn't need it. The match could have gone at least another 10, 15 minutes. It would have been a banger. Again, the match that they had in Boston was better than the one that we had on Saturday night. They had an opportunity to have a much better match because it's a PLE and not an episode of Monday Night Raw. But they didn't do that. They decided to have give Dom all the help from Raquel, from Roxanne, from Finn, from JD, and a returning Liv Morgan, which we will talk about right now. Dom thanks them, then says there's only one person he couldn't have done without. He then brings out the returning Liv Morgan. Liv then gives Dom a kiss as she enters the ring. Liv then says she is back. She says you didn't see her coming. Liv then says, do you know who else didn't see her coming? John Cena. Liv crackles, she laughs. Dom then says they knew that John Cena was going to figure out the Judgment Day's plans. He said, but when that failed, they played the ace up their sleeve. Dominic then says he's got the 2 most important things back. The Intercontinental Championship and Liv Morgan. Liv then says she missed Dominic's face and the Judgment Day. Liv then says she missed everyone, but she heard some things about the Judgment Day. She says she heard that the Judgment Day was weak and that they lost some of their gold. She heard that it was falling apart. Liv then says all that changes now because she is back. Liv then says they're back and they're coming for everything that is theirs. Liv then says that they officially run Monday Night Raw. Liv then tells Dom one more thing. She then slaps Dominic and she jumps into his arms as they kiss. And that's the way this segment came to a close. I'm hearing Liv Morgan speak. And I'm here thinking to myself, that's it? That's it? We haven't seen you since June. July, August, September, October, November. 5 months. And this is the promo you want to cut, Liv? This is the promo, Liv, you want to cut. About how John Cena didn't see you. And that you're back. And that you was hearing that Judgment Day was falling apart and they lost all their gold. And that now you guys officially run Raw. Liv, do you not know that there's another heel faction that runs the show called The Vision? Where have you been the last 5 months? I know you were hurt. Sure, and I'm glad you're back. But I'm going to say this now. This may be a little controversial of a take here. I thought they brought back Liv Morgan a little too soon. A little too soon. Which hence to what I said about Dom and Cena back at Survivor Series. Did Dom really need all that help in his match against John? No. Because you didn't get help from against John back at the match in Boston. Not one person from the Judgment Day pulled up and helped you, or at least try to help you retain the IC title against Cena back in Boston. But they want to show up at Survivor Series? Makes no sense to me. If I had the pen, if I was running creative, I would have had Liv Morgan come back after the Royal Rumble and possibly have her win the Rumble. Sure. But again, I don't write the show. I don't book the show, so it is what it is. This was not a good promo by Liv Morgan. I expected more from Liv Morgan. And we didn't get that. Which I'm kind of disappointed in. I don't know. Liv Morgan coming back is good for the Judgment Day. But at the same time, they could have brought her back just a little too later. A little too soon. They brought her back a little too soon. That's just me. We then see a video package of Maxine Dupri's training. She is told to do it again, and Maxine says she can't. Natty then tells her to try it on her. Natty then slaps Maxine and tells her to get out of the ring. Maxine then yells at Natty again. I'm going to say this now about Maxine Dupri. About this video footage. This was fantastic stuff. Well shot. I even said on Twitter, it was very well shot. It was fantastic. Seeing this type of thing with Maxine Dupri makes me want to take her serious. She's been good in the ring. She's improved. She's really improved in the ring. It's Maxine Dupri. Now, I didn't expect her to win the IC title at Madison Square Garden, but we got it. We got what we got there. Thanks to AJ Lee. But this is what I'm going to tell you guys right now. Maxine is not going to hold that title for very long. She is not going to hold that championship for long. She's not. Especially with what Liv Morgan said in her promo that they're going for all the gold. I can see Roxanne and Raquel go after the women's tag team titles. I can see Finn and JD get back the tag team titles. Dom is the current Intercontinental Champion. I can see Liv Morgan win the women's IC title from Maxine Dupri. That I could definitely see happen. Sure, which would build us possibly, if they tell the story right, Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez at WrestleMania for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I think that'd be a bang of a match. Absolutely. I think it would kill it. For sure. But the question is, will Triple H play that story out? That's the question. And on top of that, when Liv Morgan got hurt, who took her place? Roxanne Perez took her place. I don't know, folks. I don't know. We shall see what happens there. Some intriguing stuff there, but with the Maxine Dupri video package that we saw on Raw today, great stuff. I want to see more of that with Maxine Dupri. I want to see more of that. It makes me want to take her more serious. Sure, she's the Women's Intercontinental Champion. But, again, she's been improving in the ring in the last couple months. She's been improving in the ring. She's very good in the ring. She's very good. She is very, very good. We then see Adam Pearce on the phone, and Eddie Oranjo shows up. He tells Eddie to be careful what's being said or done. He then said that people saw Seth without a sling. Pearce then tells him to take a survey of the locker room and tell him what he heard. I don't know why people are thinking that it's Seth Rollins. That was the guy that stomped Punk on Saturday night. A lot of people, from what I read, is Austin Theory. From what I saw. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee make their way down to the ring for their next match tonight. And the New Day follows. We got a World Tag Team title match between AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defending the championships against Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of the New Day. New Day? I thought the match was great. This was a good match. Very good match up here. Again, the action of the show tonight was really, really good. Very solid tonight. Very solid. Very solid. I thought Jey Uso and LA Knight was a great match. I thought this World Tag Team title match was pretty good. Pretty good TV match. Pretty good TV match. We will kick things off in the commercial break. Kofi then hits a leg drop for a near fall. Kofi then goes for a boom drop. Boom, boom. But AJ counters with a roll up for a near fall. AJ then clinches up a calf crusher. Woods then breaks up the hold. Woods sends Lee to the floor. AJ then sends Woods to the floor. And Kofi gets an O'Connor roll for a near fall. AJ then hits a kick on Kofi and Lee tags in. Lee then hits an assisted sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Lee then goes for a hidden blade. And Kofi hits a chop. Woods then tags in. He chops Lee. Lee then hits a boot on Woods and a sunset flip. Woods then rolls through. He kicks AJ off the apron. Woods then hits a suicide dive on AJ after Kofi tags in. Kofi then gets in there after a drop kick on Lee in the Tree of Woe. AJ then sends Woods into the ring steps. Lee then hits a running back elbow and AJ Lee tags in. This is a spot that I really love about this match. This is a great spot. AJ then drops Kofi on the top rope. Lee hits a double stomp on Kofi. Kofi bounces off the top rope on the AJ Styles. Mind you, his back, Kofi's back, is going towards AJ Styles' chest. So AJ catches him, hits him with the Styles Clash, and gets a 1-2-3. That spot was beautiful. Beautiful spot. AJ and Dragon Lee retained the World Tag Team titles in what I thought was a very good TV match. Very, very good. Again, I love AJ. I love the tag team with AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. I love the tag team. Love the dynamic. I really do. Really do. The New Day, listen, they're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Sure. But their heel run has been complete dog shit. I love that time when they turned on Kofi. When Kofi and Xavier turned on Big E. I love that. That was one of the best heel turns in a long time. Before what we got with Cena back in March. But this tag team match was good. The tag team match was really, really good. Good stuff. Very good stuff. I love this. So far, the third best match of the entire night. I thought Jey Uso and LA Knight was the second best match of the entire night. The best match of the night will come in a little bit. We then head back to the back where Jackie Redmond is with Stephanie Vaquer, the Women's World Champion. And she is asked about the message the win showed on Saturday night against Nikki Bella. Now, before I begin with Stephanie's promo here, let's go over, now that's a good time here, Stephanie and Nikki at Survivor Series. Did this match really need to be at Survivor Series? No. It did not. It absolutely did not need to be on this PLE. But we got what we got here. We got what we got here. There was a possibility, and for some reason, I thought this, and so did my friend Kevin, and also my friend Steph thought about this also. What if Nikki won the match on Saturday night? Bro, heads would have exploded that night if Nikki won the Women's World Championship. I think the IWC would have had their torches and their pitchforks out if Nikki Bella won the championship on Saturday night. But, thank heavens, that didn't happen. Now, it was the worst match the entire night, but Nikki Bella doesn't belong in the ring. Again, I get why she's there. I get it. But does she really need a World Championship match? Again, another question. Did Stephanie and Nikki's match belong at Survivor Series? No. No, it didn't. But we got what we got. I don't run the show, so it is what it is. Stephanie says when you betray Stephanie Vaquer, you will be burned. I promise to never betray Stephanie Vaquer. She then says she is ready for her next challenger, Liv Morgan. Then interrupts and says she wanted to tell Stephanie that she is back and then congratulate Stephanie and backs away. Could we see Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship? Could be a banger. Sure. Would I put that match on January 5th at Barclays Center? Sure. But I'm not having Liv Morgan win that match. Sure, it'll be her first match back, but she's not winning the Women's World Championship. If anything, Liv Morgan would probably win the Women's Intercontinental Championship. If anything. Division. Bronson Reed, Bron Breakker, Paul Heyman, and Logan Paul makes the way to the ring. Heyman grabs a microphone, starts by introducing himself. My name is Paul Heyman. Love that. He gave a shout out to Brock Lesnar, his beast. Shout out to Drew McIntyre also. He said that it was a pleasure doing business with him, sir. Heyman then gave a shout out to Bronson Reed, the tribal thief. He gave a next shout out by Logan Paul, who gets a wave of boos. Heyman then hypes him up as being the perfect fit for his vision of the future. I asked the question, I believe 2-3 weeks ago. Is Logan Paul part of the vision? After what we got with Paul Heyman just now, I think he is part of the vision. And it's good. I think Logan Paul is a good fit for the vision. I think it's a great fit. Sure. The vision is the future. Logan Paul is the future. Bronson Reed is the future. Bron Breakker is the future. We'll talk about Bron Breakker during this segment of the show. Heyman's last shout out then goes to the man. He says he will beat CM Punk at the anniversary of Raw's debut on Netflix on January 5th, 2026 at Barclays Center in Brooklyn and become the next World Heavyweight Champion. Bron Breakker. Was this the epic thing that Triple H was talking about? If that's so, that's epic. That's probably the only epic thing that happened on this whole damn show. So it is official. Bron Breakker will go one-on-one with CM Punk January 5th, Monday Night Raw, Barclays Center in Brooklyn for the World Heavyweight Championship. We'll talk about what I'll do with that in a minute. CM Punk chants then rang out as Bron Breakker takes the microphone. And at this point, Bron Breakker cuts the most intense promo I've ever seen him cut. This was great. And I remember me and my boy Kevin was saying on Saturday at Survivor Series, Bron Breakker's great. He just can't cut a promo. After what we heard from him tonight, he shut me and my boy Kevin up. Because boy, that promo was incredible. Incredible. CM Punk chants, then Breakker as Breakker takes the microphone. Breakker says he's upset, not because of whoever got involved in that Survivor Series nearly ruining his moment, but of how easy it was to pin Punk. Breakker then says he thought he was going to have to reach into his bag to get to another level in facing Punk, but he stood across the ring from him and saw that Punk is soft. Breakker then says Punk worries about so many things when he should be worried about the war at home with his wife being a bigger star than he is. Whoa. What a line. What a line there. Wow. He then gets another CM Punk chant as Breakker says he will beat Punk on January 5th. Breakker then says Punk tried to break him on Saturday, so he's going to take everything from Punk. He then addresses a remark Punk made to him a while back about cutting a promo with the big dog, saying consider this promo cut before calling himself the real best in the world. He then drops the mic before leaving and heading to the ramp. This was an intense promo by Bron Breakker. Very good stuff. Fantastic stuff there. He really shut me up when I said on Saturday when I was at my boy Kevin's house watching Survivor Series. on how Breakker was so good, but he can't cut a promo. My boy Kevin said the same thing. He's so good, but he can't cut a promo. He can't speak. That's why he asked Paul Heyman with him. So he can work on his promos. And that promo that he cut was fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal. What am I doing on January 5th? Barclays Center. The first anniversary of Raw on Netflix. It'll be already a full year by the time we get there. From what I'm guessing here, it's going to be a loaded show. They're going to load that show up at Barclays Center on January 5th. They're going to absolutely load that show up. Could we get Stephanie and Liv Morgan for the World Championship? For the Women's World Championship? Possibly. Could we get Liv Morgan and Maxine Dupree for the Women's Intercontinental Championship? Sure. We could. Punk and Breakker is announced for January 5th. I don't know about you guys, but if I had the pen, I am crowning Bron Breakker as the new World Heavyweight Champion on January 5th. That's what I'm doing. Mind you, Punk only won the World Championship at Saturday Night's Main Event back, I believe, October, towards the end of October, because Rollins got hurt. If Rollins never got hurt, I think he would still be World Heavyweight Champion as of this very night. I'm giving Bron Breakker the World Championship. What I'm doing with Bron Breakker going into WrestleMania, I'm giving Braun and Roman at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. Roman said on Raw last week, I did watch Raw last week, Roman said, those titles will look really good on my shoulder. I think he's picturing the World Heavyweight Championship. Because he already won the championship that Cody currently holds. He already had that championship. So by default, the World Heavyweight Championship will look really good on Roman's shoulder. How would Roman get to the World Heavyweight Championship? Roman is going to win the Rumble in Saudi at the end of January. Roman is going to win the Royal Rumble in January. He's going to get Bron Breakker and the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. But then people are going to ask, what do you do with Cody? What do you do with Punk? There is a pay-per-view, folks, in February called the Elimination Chamber in Chicago, Illinois, at the United Center. WWE will run the United Center for the first time since August of 1994. SummerSlam 94 was the last time World Wrestling Entertainment had a pay-per-view in that arena. Almost more than 30 years later, they will have a PLE at that show, at that arena. Punk will win the men's elimination chamber at that show in Chicago, and we get Cody and Punk for the World Championship at WrestleMania, for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. That's what I would do. That's indeed what I would do. So you already have, by the time we get to after the chamber, by the time we get past the chamber, we would already have 2 WrestleMania main events already lined up. Cody and Punk for the WWE Championship, or should I say the Undisputed WWE Championship. By the way, can we stop calling that championship the Undisputed WWE Championship? How is it undisputed when Cody only defends that championship on one brand? It's like what Eric Bischoff said back in 2002. That championship is very, very disputed. Which is why he brought back up the World Heavyweight Championship. The big gold World Heavyweight Championship. Breakker and Punk will main event that Raw show in Brooklyn at Barclays Center, and Punk will drop the championship to Bron Breakker. Roman will win the Rumble. We get Roman and Bron Breakker for the World Championship. Punk will win the men's elimination chamber, and we get Punk and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. There goes your night 1 main event and your night 2 main event right there. Tell me how you could stick it to the AEW sickos without telling me you can just stick it to the AEW sickos. Have Punk and Cody go at it for the most prestigious championship in all of wrestling, the WWE Championship. And have that main event night 2. Or have that main event night 1. I think Punk and Cody come main event night 1, and Roman and Bron Breakker come main event night 2. There you go. What the other 2 cards will look like after that, I don't know. We did head to the back. Well, Jackie Redmond stops Jey Uso and asks him about his loss. Jey does not say anything about the loss or the mystery man. She then says about Bron Breakker, and Jey stops. Jey then says he doesn't care about Bron Breakker or any division. Jey then says there's a lot of people in his head and they have to get out. Jey then says he was worried about the person in his mirror. Jey then says Roman Reigns said it best, that those titles look best on Roman's shoulders, not his. So there you go. There you go. By the way, before I forget my train of thought here. I thought during the Vision segment we would get the masked person to come out. We did not get that at all tonight. We did not get that whatsoever tonight, and I'm pissed at that. Because you would figure, after what happened at Survivor Series, we would get a follow-up of what happened on Monday Night Raw tonight. The masked person who climbed the cage, super kicked Punk, stomped Punk, left the cage. That person did not come to the show at all tonight. Did not come to the show tonight. You don't think Paul Heyman has anything to do with that? You're damn right he does. Paul Heyman even said it a couple weeks ago. He's always one step ahead. Paul Heyman is making Adam Pearce think it's Seth Rollins. It's not. Rollins is due to come back until at least March or April. For what I was told from a good friend of mine who I will not mention on this review, Rollins is due to come back anytime between March and April. So he's cutting it loose to come back just in time for WrestleMania. He's cutting it loose just in time for WrestleMania. Does Rollins will have a significant role at WrestleMania? I don't know. But one thing for sure that I'll tell you, Rollins is not coming back as a heel. He is not returning as a heel. He is not. He is not. So just know that. We then see Rhea Ripley and Io Sky getting ready for the main event. Gunther makes his way down to the ring for the next match of the night against Solo Sikoa. The last semi-final matchup of the last time it's a tournament between Gunther and Solo Sikoa. This was the match of the night. For two heels. Mind you, Solo's a heel and Gunther's a heel. For two heels to have a match like that we got tonight was fucking fantastic. This was a match of the night in my honest opinion. Match of the night. Match of the night. By the way, folks, this match had 2 commercials. 2. Not 1. 2. 2. Why, sir? Why? You go back from the last commercial break. Gunther goes for a pile driver, but Solo blocks and it gets Gunther onto his shoulders. Gunther then gets a thumb, but Solo gets free, hits a Samoan drop for a near fall. Solo then sets up for another Samoan spike, but Gunther just chopped the living shit out of Solo Sikoa. Solo was getting ready for the spike. As soon as he waved his arm up like that, Gunther just chopped the living shit out of Solo. I've heard that from here to Arizona. Good Lord. If there's one thing you could not do, if there's one thing I will not do, you couldn't pay me all the money in the world to take a chop from Gunther. Simple as that. That was crazy. Gunther hits a chop on him. He hits more chops. He backs up Solo in the corner, gets even more chops. Gunther then hits more chops, but Solo hits a Uranage and goes up for his frog splash, but hits it. Solo then gets a near fall. Solo then sets up for another Samoan spike. Gunther ducks it. He applies a sleeper. Gunther then stops Solo from reaching the ropes, but Solo gets to the turnbuckles. He then pulls the pad to the top turnbuckle while Gunther hits a German suplex. Tala Tonga then gets on the apron, and Gunther goes to the floor after knocking Tala Tonga off the apron. Tala Tonga then hits a kick on Gunther. The referee then stops fixing the pad, and he stops Solo from hitting a Samoan spike. Gunther then hits a kick on Solo and a back heel kick on Tala Tonga. They then return to the ring, and Gunther hits a low kick. When the referee was looking at Tala, Gunther hits a powerbomb for the win. He beats Solo Sikoa 1-2-3. He will face LA Knight on Friday on SmackDown to determine who will face John Cena on December 13th at Saturday's main event in Washington, D.C. I said it earlier when we covered LA Knight and Jey Uso, so I'm going to say the same thing with Gunther. Gunther is winning this tournament, and he's beating John Cena. Now, I know people will ask me, Chris, how would you book Cena's final match? Would you have him win or would you have him lose? I would have Cena lose. I would have Cena lose here. I would. I would absolutely have John Cena lose. Now, I remember Revolution last year, during Sting's final match, Sting wanted to lose. Now, of course, how old school Sting is, when you're retiring, you lay on your back. I love how old school Sting is. But Tony Khan said, no, we're going to have you win. You've been undefeated this entire time while you was in AEW, so we're going to have you win. I don't mind that, that's fine. Sting is one of my all-time favorites, that's fine. They really, with this tournament, I will say this now. With this tournament, with this whole Last Time Is Now tournament, they really blew it with this tournament. They really blew it. In a bad way. It's bad when you're not having fun with this tournament. Triple H did not have fun with the tournament. Again, he played it safe in this tournament. All we got in this tournament was Javon Evans, a returning Dolph Ziggler, a.k.a. Nick Nemeth, and a returning Zack Ryder, a.k.a. Matt Cardona. You could have given me a Joe Hendry in this tournament. You could have put at least Drew McIntyre in this tournament. Now, again, he was feuding with Cody, and Drew went on record to say he's always wanted to feud with John Cena. It's unfortunate we're never going to get a McIntyre-Cena match. I think it would slap. I think it would be a banger. With McIntyre-Cena feud, it'll be a banger. Which goes to show, the creative this year has been dog shit. Now, I'm going to throw this out there. I've heard JD and Solomon say this. Is it possible that because of John Cena's final year, the whole creative thing for this year went dog shit because of John Cena's final year? Now, again, what's going to happen when Cena retires? Is it going to get good again? Because, God, I hope so. I said it in the beginning of this review. If Triple H wants to really redeem himself in 2026, he needs to fucking deliver next year. He's going to ride out the rest of the year. He's going to wait to see the final match on December 13th. Take the rest of the year off because we're in the holidays. And they're going to start taping shows towards the end of the year because it's the holidays. And then as soon as January hits, that's when you start building towards your redemption tour. I don't know what happened to Triple H this year, but last year, he was a god last year. He was pushing all the right buttons when it comes to certain superstars and his storylines and creative. He was pushing all the right buttons. But as of this year, hell, I kind of agree with what JD said here. And again, it's his thought and it's his opinion, and I agree with his opinion. I respect his opinion. Was it because of John Cena's final year of his farewell tour that creative was so dog shit this year that you didn't know what to do with John Cena? Hell, they botched his freaking heel turn. Well, not the heel turn. The heel turn was amazing, but his heel run. His heel run was dog shit. Now I love John. He's one of my all-time favorites. I love John Cena. He's a part of my childhood, same way as The Undertaker was back in the 90s. I love John. He also follows me on Twitter. John Cena. He also follows me on Twitter. I love John. One of my all-time favorites. One of my all-time favorite feuds that John had was him and Randy, him and Edge, him and Punk. But boy, did they fuck up this John Cena Last Time Is Now tournament. They could have had real fun with this tournament. Real fun. I just think they dropped the ball with this tournament. And now, you look at the Final Four that was coming into tonight with Solo and Gunther and Jey Uso and LA Knight. Who was going to win the tournament? We knew the minute that the Final Four happened that we got the semifinals that we got to. You knew who was winning this tournament. Or I'll go a step further. The minute you found out the minute you found out who was wrestling in the first round, you knew who was going to win this tournament. I knew from the very beginning that Gunther was going to win this tournament. Gunther, where I said he always wanted a match with Cena. Cena said the same thing. He's gone on record and said he's always wanted a match with Gunther. And with this tournament happening, that's going to conclude on Friday on SmackDown, Cena may get his wish. Cena may get his wish. And for all you LA Knight fans, you're not getting LA Knight versus John Cena. Another person who's been fucked with crib this year, LA Knight. LA Knight. I even went back to June and said LA Knight should have won Money in the Bank. Because why would they move to Monday Night Raw? Because you knew Knight was not going to beat Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. At least make him move to Monday Night Raw. At least have him a shot, get him a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm calling it right now. LA Knight could possibly win either Money in the Bank or the World Heavyweight Championship or the Intercontinental Championship in 2026. Calling it right now. This match with Gunther was great. Well, this match with Gunther is going to be great. Because Gunther and the words bad matches don't mix together. Gunther is immune of having bad matches. That's how great Gunther is. Gunther and LA Knight will kill it on Friday on SmackDown. They're going to kill it. Gunther will win this tournament. He will retire John Cena. He will. He will be the person to retire John Cena. He's already retired Bill Goldberg in Atlanta on Cena's main event. Back in July, I believe back in July. He's going to retire Cena on December 13th in Washington, D.C. He's going to retire Cena. Cena only has one match left. People will ask me, Chris, will you get emotional during John Cena's final match? I probably will. I probably will. Gunther wins. He beats Solo Sikoa. He will face LA Knight on Friday on SmackDown to determine who faces Cena on December 13th. We then head to the back where Adam Pearce is with Eddie Arango again. And Eddie says, no one knows who the masked man is. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee then stop by to tell Pearce that he was walking around without the sling. I don't think it's I don't think it's Seth. I don't think it's Seth. AJ then says they want to face a deserving team next week, and they'll even put up the tag team titles next week. Dragon Lee then says they want the War Raiders. Pearce then makes the match official. Next week, we'll be getting AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defending the World Tag Team Championships against the War Raiders. That should be a banger of a match next week. Love it. Love it. Should be great next week on Monday Night Raw in Kansas City next week. We did see Byron Saxton, in the interview arena of the balcony. He then said about the fun of the Cena tournament in the main event. Grayson Waller, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston show up. Waller talks about how you can thrive. How can you thrive if you're handpicked? They have to fight. He then says some people mention the champion's name and they get a title match. He then says Kofi and Woods had to wait 6 months and they had to deal with the dumbest referee. He then says that the referee talking to Pierce. He then says it is coincidental. He then says the New Day only gets 6 days for a title match. He then says the Warriors are handed a title match. I mean, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee said, yeah, we'll defend the titles against whoever a deserving team is. They just happened to say the War Raiders, so there you go. It is then announced that next week, the winner of the Cena Last Time is Not tournament will be on the show. Will be Gunther. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee will defend their World Tag Team titles against the War Raiders. And Rey Mysterio will go one-on-one with Finn Balor. Raw next week is look like a banger show next week. Well, not that bad of a show. We'll find out one next week in Kansas City. We then head to the back where Jackie Redmond is with Rey Mysterio. She asks him about his match against Finn Balor. Rey says the main issue is with this bastard's son, but if he is going to hide behind the Judgment Day, he is going after Finn. Rey is then asked about facing down for the Intercontinental Championship. Logan Paul then interrupts and says he came upon some crazy talk. Rey then said that Logan might be the bigger jackass than Dominic. He then says the Intercontinental title belongs to the Vision. Logan Paul as Intercontinental Champion? Sign me up. I'll love that. Sure. He then tells Rey this is a warning. He then says Rey needs to step back. Rey then asks Logan who will stop him. Pendejo. Logan then says he will not only stop him, he will retire him. Rey then slaps the shit out of Logan, and a lot of people show up to keep them apart. Maybe we got a future match between Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio. Should be a banger. Listen, Logan Paul, he's great in the ring. He's been having a lot of banger matches, especially the one that he had with Cena. I believe that Clash in Paris. It's a very good matchup. One of Cena's best matches all year. I think Cena. If you would have asked me what is Cena's best match of the year, I think it's him and Cody back at SummerSlam at MetLife. A very good match there. Main event time. Again, nothing so epic about the show, Triple H. Nothing for what I read from the beginning of the show to not the main event, Hunter. Nothing's epic outside of Bron Breakker and CM Punk announcement for January 5th at Barclays Center. That's the only epic thing you said on this entire show. Again, Hunter, I'm still waiting for the epicness for the show. Main event time. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss then make their way down to the ring for the main event of the night against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. This tag team match, I couldn't care less about this main event. If I was to sit here and if you were to sit here and ask me, I really wouldn't. I really didn't care for this main event. Really did not care. I was busy setting up the review here with the thumbnail and everything. I was getting ready while I had the match in the background, so I couldn't really care less about this match. Couldn't care less. We will begin with Liv Morgan. Yeah, Liv Morgan show the show after that. Flair then hits a thrust kick and Alexa tags in. Flair then hits a natural selection and Alexa hits Sister Abigail, but Rhea breaks up the cover. Flair then misses a boot. She goes to the apron. Rhea then sends Flair to the floor. Rhea then pulls Io into her corner, make the tag. Alexa then hits some forearms. Rhea goes for Razor's Edge, but Alexa escapes. Rhea then blocks a tornado DDT and his Sister Abigail. Rhea then hits a powerbomb. Io hits a moonsault, but Flair pushes Rhea onto the cover to break it up. Asuka and Kairi Sane then make it down to the ring. to attack all 4 women to the referee calls for the bell. The match goes to a no contest. Welp! After the match, Flair and Rhea are set into the ring post. They then work over Io with a number of kicks. They then take Alexa down with a leg sweep. Bayley and Lara Valkyria then make the way onto the ring. They go after Shane and Asuka. Lara then hits a drop kick through the ropes to stop Kyrie. Bayley then kicks Asuka. Liv Morgan then pulls Lara Valkyria off the announce desk. Raquel and Roxanne then join in on the attack. Raquel hit the Tejana bomb on Asuka. Perez then hits a back heel kick on Bayley. Follows it up with a pop rocks. Roxanne then hands the title belt to Liv, but Liv gets it back to Roxanne. She raises both their arms up as the show comes to a close with Roxanne and Roxelle holding the Women's Tag Team Championships and Liv Morgan going up to the camera and saying, "We are back." That was a complete clusterfuck of main event. I'll tell you this now. I mean, the match was good for what it was. It wasn't that bad, but both those teams cannot suffer a loss, so obviously they went with the easier way with the no contest there. But now you got Rhea and Io going after the Women's Tag Team Championships. Alexa and Charlotte are due for a rematch. Then you have Bayley and Lara Valkyria, and then you have Roxanne Perez and Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. So you got 4 teams. 4 teams going after Asuka and Kairi Sane's Women's Tag Team Championships. What's going to happen with that? I don't know. But I'm sure Triple H will book something up and have it be epic. Overall, I thought Raw wasn't that bad of a show tonight. It wasn't that bad. It was okay for what it was. Again, I was waiting for the epicness of the entire show. The only thing epic that we got was Bron Breakker and CM Punk being announced for January 5th for the World Championship at Barclays Center in Brooklyn on Netflix 1-year anniversary with Monday Night Raw. So that was it. We didn't get no Punk tonight. We didn't get AJ Lee tonight. No Punk. No Becky tonight. No Becky Lynch tonight. Crazy. No Becky Lynch tonight. But I did see on social media that Becky Lynch was boycotting the show tonight because of what happened with her and Jessica Carr. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Bayley. Becky's just playing the part as a heel, which she does best. So it is what it is. Again, overall, I thought Raw wasn't a bad show. But again, where was the epic Triple H? What happened, pal? What happened to the epic that you said was going to happen at Survivor Series post-show? What happened? Again, the only epic thing that was heard tonight was Braun Strowman and Punk's announcement for January 5th on Netflix for Raw at Barclays Center in Brooklyn for the World Championship. That's it. I thought the action was pretty good. Again, we got no progression as to what happened with the masked person that showed up on Saturday. I'm highly disappointed about that. But that is it, guys, from Monday Night Raw. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you guys enjoyed the review, hit that like button. Leave a comment down below your thoughts of the show. Leave your thoughts, good thoughts, bad thoughts of the show tonight. Well, what was your biggest takeaway of the show tonight? Leave a comment down below. And if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on those guys for all notifications. Don't forget, guys, to follow me on social media. I will do Raw on Mondays. I don't know yet about the podcast yet, about the Near Fall podcast. I will think about it certainly to do it. I will probably do it on Wednesday. I have no idea because I do work Wednesdays, so I'll let you guys know on social media. But I will cover SmackDown on Friday right here on the channel. Follow me on social media, X/Twitter, at NowThisNowChris, and also follow me on TikTok, where I will post clips from Raw Review, the podcast shows, and SmackDown reviews. Follow me on TikTok at GoodVibes, 2 S's and an underscore. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Turn those bells, guys, for all notifications. I will see you guys on Friday for SmackDown. We will talk about the finals of the Last Time is now a tournament between Gunther and LA Knight. Also, I did see on Raw tonight also that Cody Rhodes will be showing up on SmackDown Friday night to discuss what happened at War Games. And also, if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on those guys for notifications. I'll see you guys on Friday on SmackDown post show right here on the Near Fall Podcast. Until then, I'm Chris. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video all over social media. I will see you guys on Friday for the SmackDown post show right here on the Near Fall Podcast. Until then, I am Chris. Have a good night. Talk to you guys later.